Eagle looking great. Your go.
As soon as I see my face, I'm going to say something. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the Sci-Fi Wise Guys, live and in your face. My name is Chris.
And my name is Anthony.
Here on the Sci-Fi Wise Guys, we watch and review, usually, science fiction and science fiction adjacent visual entertainment media that goes straight to stream or straight to DVD, VHS, Laserdisc, Blu-ray, whatever.
Betamax.
But today is a very special day. It is the capstone for Turtles Month, the very special 39 and a half year anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a franchise Anthony and I both love amongst lots of other people.
Do we love it?
I love it. I mean, devoted a whole month to it.
We devoted. You're actually we started off devoting a month to it, and real quick before we get too far along, a cowabunga, Cheshire or Purple or whatever you want to be called.
What's up?
And Phenom, how's it going? How's it going? We started off. We were like,
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
we started off like we're gonna celebrate the 39th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then we lost track of time, and then we were like, oh well, we'll do a bunch of turtle stuff leading up to the new movie, and then we were like, oh no, that's JTRO July, we can't do that. And then it was like, oh well, we'll just do the 39 and a half month anniversary, we'll do a whole month dedicated to turtles. And then you know, in a month, and I'm looking it up real quick, in a month that has 4 Mondays, when we release on Mondays, so in a month that has 4 Mondays, we I think we recorded 7 episodes. so we're going way into September with this, fairly certain. I think you know, if you're listening to this in podcast land, it's already mid-September, like it's past. We're way out there. It was just so much we wanted to talk about, and Chris even like turned down some ideas.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
I ran out of bandwidth. For anyone who doesn't know, first-time listeners, I'm expecting a baby in the month of November, and I'm slowly getting everything ready for it. So in between putting up ceiling fans, hanging or applying vinyl stars to a ceiling, painting that ceiling, it's a nightmare. So I couldn't do certain things. So, but next year is the 40 and a half year.
40 and a half, yeah.
So who knows?
40 and a half, who knows? Cheshire, we can't get turtle costumes. Spirit Halloween is not yet open.
Yeah.
And I wasn't about to shell out the, pun intended, the thousands of dollars for a legit costume. I sweat in this room doing a live stream. Normally, I couldn't imagine doing it with a turtle costume on, decked out as the best turtle.
Yeah. Raphael, for sure.
Donatello, 100%. Yeah.
Well,
we're going to start some fights.
Wow. 10 backflips, go. Wrong movie.
1. It's close.
16,
it's close.
17. So we are watching today the 1990. Well, we're not watching it. Hopefully, we're not watching it for the first time. I watched this movie 4 times over the past month. In preparation for this. We would watch a different Ninja Turtles thing, and I'd be like, you know, that was cool. I'm gonna watch the first one. And so I'm ready. Anthony, are you ready?
Let me see. Yes.
Cool. We're gonna stick somewhat to the format.
No. You try your hardest, my dude.
No. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes. Lean, green, and on the screen everywhere.
If my Google will work for a second. Jeez, come on, Google. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, commonly abbreviated as TMNT.
No, you're looking at the primary Wikipedia entry instead of the entry for this particular.
Jeez,
it's okay. We're just staring at this movie poster. It's fine.
It's good. I've had one of those days. Hey, cool news. I got a raise.
Oh, that's good.
Today.
I'd like you to raise the level of professionalism you have right now along with it.
You know, I could do that.
Only 1 raise per day? Is that what it is?
You don't pay me. So,
no, I do not.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 1990 American superhero film directed by Steve Barron and written by Todd W. Langen and Bobby Herbeck from a story by Herbeck. I'm just going to go ahead and call it Duck a Duck. I don't know any of these people. I've never heard of a single one of them. Steve Barron is most famous for directing Billie Jean.
Oh, okay.
Summer of '69, Run to You by Bryan Adams.
Okay.
Okay, a bunch of music videos.
Ton of music videos, it sounds
Coneheads.
That checks out, actually. That does check
Africa
out.
by Toto.
Okay.
And The Adventures of Pinocchio. So this dude's well-versed.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, the music video background's going to come up later in conversation for sure.
What is authority control? What is that?
It does not matter.
Yeah, I don't know why that's linked on his Wikipedia, but Todd W. Langdon is a master's degree in aerospace engineering.
Oh, cool.
And apparently was a writer of The Wonder Years, and Bobby Herbeck is credited for several things: Chips, Different Strokes, MASH, The Jeffersons, Wrongfully Accused. So, all, I don't want to say that it is a bunch of unknowns, but like not anyone super famous.
Right. I had a question to ask, and then Phenom in the chat here actually answered it. On the poster here, underneath the words Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one on top of the other, it says, "Hey dude, this is no cartoon." And there's quotes around it. And I was like, well, who says that? Like, who's talking right now? Apparently it's Phenom in the chat. He says, "Hey dude, quote. This is no cartoon."
Yeah.
Just now. Some sort of time paradox.
That's the third movie.
He went back in time 33 years. Some sort of Back to the Future something.
Yeah.
And added it to the poster. I'm going to throw some facts out there.
Fact me.
I'm going to do all our normal facts, and then we're going to throw them all out the window. But I'm just going to run through them just because you said we should stick to the format as much as possible. So I'm doing this for you, Chris. Cool. On IMDb, the blurb reads, 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles emerged from the shadows to protect New York City from a gang of criminal ninjas. Perfect. This is sitting at a 6.8 out of 10 with over 100,000 ratings. Median score of or unweighted mean, because they changed it on me, 7.1. Look at that. 25.9% of the votes, a 7. I think Phenom is in the chat just quoting the movie. Just start watching the movie now, Phenom, and just type in every line that you can that you like as we go. Yeah. We should line up.
It's one of the a long time ago we once suggested, hey, we should live stream a movie on Amazon Prime and review it in real time. Mutant Turtles is not one of those movies, so
no.
But feel free if you do it. Yeah. It's not illegal,
right?
So
yeah, exactly. On Rotten Tomatoes, this thing is sitting at 42% rotten with an 81% audience score. Critics' consensus: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is exactly as advertised. One-liners, brawls, and general silliness. Good for the young at heart. Irritating for everyone else.
Disgusting.
Metacritic, 51. How is it higher on Metacritic than Rotten Tomatoes? Anyways, 51 Metascore, mixed or average reviews with 8.3 user score. All right, my people are coming up. And then lastly, 3.3 on Letterboxd. Coming out, what does that come out to? 6.6? Yeah. The blurb here: heroes in a half shell. A quartet of mutated humanoid turtles clash with an uprising criminal gang of ninjas. Look at that. That's a great. I'm gonna take that, put it on my MySpace page, like the banner.
82% of Google users like this movie.
Of course they did. I don't know how to handle these ratings. I don't know if I care. I think out of all the movies we've ever watched, this is the one I least care about all of the ratings. Just to finish them out, what's your rating, Chris? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, 9.6.
9.6, huh? Not even going to make a reference to the 9.95 at the end of the movie. Not going to just continue this joke. It's obviously a 9.95. Almost perfect. The only thing would have made it perfect if it was another 20 minutes of action scenes. But just gags. Just gags. I just want action scene gags.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the only thing that could have made this movie better, in my opinion, is if there's just more of it.
Yeah. Like,
so
a lot more.
Instead of making Secret of the Ooze and Turtles 3, they just there's
took that budget,
the Tolkien extended cut, right, of TMNT, and it's like a 4.5 hour long movie.
Yes,
then it would be a 10.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with my 9.95 out of 9.95. It's fantastic. No Phenom, we won't be talking about TMNT 2.
How dare you? Secret of the booze. Am I right?
That was good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. So we normally we watch and review things we've never seen before, and we've actually done that quite a bit during Turtles Month. We watched Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something we'd never seen. Rise of the TMNT, something we'd never seen. Mutant Mayhem, obviously, something we hadn't seen. But this is something, like you said, you've watched like 4 times this past month. I watched it a couple of times, including like I timed it so that I finished the movie and then walk in here. Like I didn't just like watch it late. I was like, okay, when do I start this? Looked it up. Okay, this is when I started because I wanted it in my veins. I wanted it as fresh as possible when we're talking about it.
Phenom has a favorite fact about TMNT.
Does he?
He doesn't want to share it because we might bring it up later, but feel free to share it.
He's never he's just gonna come in, start quoting the movie.
I mean, here's the deal. I've never known Phenom to not say whatever he's gonna say anyways, so he might as well just say it now. So
we'll give you the space. Do you want to call in, Phenom? Do you have a webcam? Do you want to just show up?
I could never get that guy to shut up anyway, so why is he gonna do it now?
That's not fair. That's not fair, Chris.
No, he's great. Phenom's great.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the other guy. Thinking of the other guy.
If I think about myself, geez.
I mean, there's a lot of projection going on right here. Oh, look, he had it typed out, but he backspaced it.
Control Z.
Can we Control Z? So you brought up Steve Barron, the director, directing a lot of music videos, and something I forget about. But something I remember, I should say, every time I watch this movie, no matter how recent the last watch was, is how the music, especially the drums, is used to emphasize like the fight scenes. Raphael's getting the crud beat out of him, and it's just all the sound effects are just a drum set, crash cymbals, somebody moving down the toms, what have you. It's really, really, really well done, and it's throughout the whole movie. Just instead of it's a way to tone down the violence a little bit instead of having like punch noises, like you would in most scenarios. A lot of times they just have some weird musical instrument, usually drums or a little bass being played. And I really, really like that. And I think that we talk about him. You mentioned, hey, he did a lot of music videos. I mean, it shows like being able to put the action up with the music in a way that I don't think a lot of, I mean, this is what would you call this? A swashbuckling action movie? About a swashbuckling is like the closest I can get to, like, because it's the thing is the whole thing's ridiculous, right? They're giant walking, talking turtles who are also ninjas who fight other secret ninjas, and then there's a ninja master, and then Casey Jones commits casual murder. We assume for at least another year before the next movie comes out.
Swashbuckling's good. I think that's an appropriate term. I was like, it's not sword and sandal. Like just the idea that like the idea of a sword and sandal movie is that in Rome, the gladiators are the only people that can solve the problem, right? Like there's a Roman emperor and he has huge armies, this big Senate with all these politicians, but the only people that can solve his problem are a bunch of people who kill each other for other people's fun, right?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
Well, totally. But like
checks out.
But like the ninja movie, which kind of started a few years earlier here in America, it's a little different. And so I think swashbuckling action is probably a very appropriate turn of phrase.
I mean, even when like it's at its most serious, it still has a gag or two in the action, right?
Yeah.
The action is and Kel's in the chat. Name dropping people and doxing them everywhere. Mentioning that they're pretty limited in the turtle costumes, and that makes a lot of sense. Like that turtle costume hitting something does not sound like skin on skin contact. Yeah. And so instead of overdoing the Foley, you have the musical cues and some of the sound effects. I think I'm praising it in this movie, and I would bash it in the next one. It definitely is completely different. But I think it really towed the line, right? It was just enough to where you're not supposed to take it seriously, but it's not way over the top goofy.
Yeah. Well, we talk about it in some of the other things that we watched where the irony of this being the most grounded of all of the turtle movies. Like, and I know it sounds ridiculous when I say that out loud, but the only ridiculous, truly ridiculous part of this movie is that there's a mutant rat and turtles. Right, the fact that there's like a clandestine ninja clan with a feeder system in New York City, like I could totally believe that that's an actual thing that actually happened. Right,
I think it happened in an episode of Walker Texas Ranger. I'm pretty sure there were bad ninjas in that at some point, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
That
wasn't even New York.
Games. Happy anniversary, TMNT. That's right, 39 and a half year. It's just ridiculous, but not so ridiculous where it's not believable, right? Like in Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, part of Batman's rogues gallery gets turned into their inner animal through a weird venom thing, right? Like in Rise of TMNT, the movie, aliens from another dimension come to Earth and there's time travel involved.
And Turtles Forever, they mutate a bunch of people, they travel dimensions.
Yeah. And Mutant Mayhem, like, you know, in Mutant Mayhem, a bunch of animals from the New York Zoo get melded into one large mutant kaiju, right? Yes. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet.
Sorry.
But
that doesn't spoil anything. You should still go watch it.
But this movie, and it's not even a budget thing. Because I think, like, in the wrong hands, maybe this movie could have been really, like, for all intents and purposes, this is a B movie. It's an independent film. It has God, Magical Snail, why don't you give me some of that elephant shit? Give me some of that giraffe. He'll understand.
Are you making a Katamari? Are you making a Katamari reference?
No one will understand that reference but him. Maybe you. But like the other movies, like fire, give me some of that fire. But
wow,
I like, it's like I said, it's not even the budget, because you can have a crazy cheese-filled B movie that's just out of control. But Steve Barron did a really good job of making this movie seem like it could actually happen. Yeah, outside of the mutant turtle and rat.
Except the mutant turtle and rat, the former hockey player turned vigilante. I mean, the fact that, like, I think, like, okay, I'm gonna say the most unrealistic part of this movie is that, like, you get a ninja clan that big. You expect me, like, they're all ninjas? Vigilante? How did I say it?
Vigilante.
How are you supposed to say it?
I don't know. I think it's. Okay. I don't want to have a pronunciation debate with you.
Vigilante is the right way. That's what Kel's saying. Okay, got it. The thing with vigil just a soft G. There were no snitches in the entire Foot Clan system, right? The cops didn't know anything.
Well, I mean, there's a Shredder and Master Tatsu who will, like, kick you in the head if you're not.
I know, but like most are just kids. They're like, yeah, come hang out. Like, they're not being super secretive about it.
Well,
and it's all boys. I think there's a couple of girls in the wider shots, but for the most part, it's like 99% men between the ages of 12 and 20.
Do you want mint? Like when Sam Rockwell offers you menthol or regular,
and then doesn't give them either. I don't know if you noticed that. He immediately just gives the box to somebody else and walks away.
No, I mean, like, I think that part of it is, there may not be any snitches, but it's because, like, they're everywhere, right? Yeah. Like, if you're gonna maybe there was a snitch at some point. That's why Chief Barnes.
It doesn't matter.
That's why the police chief, like, when April O'Neil mentions the Foot Clan, you will see a visual change in his face. Like, he knows,
he's heard of it. Yeah,
the Foot Clan exists, but all of his informants, they ended up in a trash compactor apparently.
Chief Stearns, by the way.
Stearns, yes, thank you. Barnes, Stearns.
Yeah, it's all the same.
He's an unimportant character. Are you trying to tell me how to do my job?
Yeah,
that guy.
So good.
It's over the top.
Love
it. When he gets Danny's paperwork.
He
leans back, chair, kicks his feet up like.
He's like, all my problems have been solved. I'm about to do a little. What would that be? Is that extortion? What is that?
I think it's blackmail.
Blackmail. You're right. Thank you. Is this the last time that the press were the good guys in a movie? Like, name.
What's that one movie about the Boston Catholic priests?
Oh, I have no idea. That sounds like a movie I skipped real hard. Real hard. Okay, Chris.
Because I don't think April beats anyone up unless she's
She
talking
tries. She
unless she's
hits
talking
with-
about a metaphorical fight.
Oh, well, yeah. It's the larger fight against crime.
Oh,
you
sure.
know.
I mean, like it's the problem is that in any movie that typically has a reporter or a journalist, it's not so much that they're portrayed as the bad person, but like their desire to get the truth supersedes any reasonable amount of decency. I think the prime example is the movie Die Hard, where that dude will do anything to get a story,
Right.
up to and including possibly getting a bunch of people killed by
McClane's
terrorists.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, like exposing John McClane to Hans Gruber. Like it's terrible. Like it's stupid. And he does the same thing in the second movie. Like it's just
how many minutes in are we right now?
25 minutes and 10 seconds is what Twitch tells me.
Okay, perfect. And we're already in Die Hard.
What was
fantastic?
Was Hot Shots Part 2?
What about it? Part D?
When he shows up, like he pops his head from a sewer manhole cover or whatever, and he's in the scene where they're talking about War and Peace. What Russian novel with 400 characters is written about Napoleonic War? War and Peace.
I think that's the one scene as a kid. I was like, what are they doing? First of all, what is that?
They're playing Trivia Pursuit.
Yeah, I know, but like I know now, but like as a kid, I have no clue. And I was like, what is he talking about? What's the Napoleon? What? These words, war and what?
The Napoleonic Wars, according to Raphael.
Why does Raphael have a completely different accent than the rest of the turtles? That's got to be a choice, right? That's got to be like a distinct choice that he made to be like, I want to sound like this. No, like they all.
Is that all right with you, Leo? I'm gonna go see a movie.
That's Jesus. That's real bad. That's so bad. They just alienated a whole subsection of New York City.
What are they gonna do about it? Get beat up by a turtle?
Well,
go to LaGuardia, right?
The difference between Raph having a Ralph. You're going to make fun of me for what I say?
Ralph.
The difference between Raph having an accent and Mikey having an accent is like Mikey's like getting into a culture and they talk a certain way, but Raph is just like, yeah, I like the way they talk over there. Like it doesn't make, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense.
Ralphio.
Well, why did you just tick off all of our childhood all at once?
What was I supposed to do? Just leave it there?
It's like I thought we get a couple of throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think? My favorite part is just Leo like considering it.
Like we could use some throw pillows. This couch is really uncomfortable.
We found this couch abandoned by a sewer. Yeah. This is perfect.
122 and an 8.
Apparently, we're just going to move past it. I think Kel in the chat calling him Ralph kind of beats any point I was trying to make. So we'll just move past it. Oh, goodness. Do you have a favorite one-liner? Or favorite line, I should say, in the movie?
Favorite line? I mean, wise man says that forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. I mean, I'm not going to say that I've lived my entire life by that comment, but I mean, it's certainly influenced a great deal of my personality for sure. I mean, just sitting on the floor in my bedroom in the early 90s, popping this movie in every day after school. Like it's just that's the scene that sticks out to me most is that dude, that Domino's guy rolling up on that scooter. And Donatello's trying to be like, Mikey, what you're talking about Splinter and not being around forever.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to have a serious conversation with his brother about their father possibly dying.
Yeah.
Like contemplating the finality of life and how everything ends, the meaninglessness of our existence and how nothing truly matters. But I'm not going to pay you full price for pizza that's late. Yeah. Pizza dude's late. Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
My favorite line in the movie, Phenom, whoops. That's okay. That's really good. My favorite line in the movie is like Mikey and Donatello are like sitting in front of the television eating snacks and like getting into a cartoon.
Oh yeah, the rabbit in the hair,
the tortoise in the hair or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just yelling at the television. Ninja kick the damn rabbit. Do something.
Yeah.
Like I on one hand, I know they're probably just goofing around, but on the other hand, I kind of hope that's the first time they'd seen that,
Yeah.
and they were like super emotionally involved.
I also like when they're
Fantastic.
after Raphael saves April O'Neil,
Mm-hmm.
and she shouts him out on Channel 6 News.
Oh yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
the entirety of New York City, this 16-year-old turtle, this teenage turtle, and he's like, I think he's blushing, and he throws the sigh like like right where Donatello's crotch is, and he's like,
Mm-hmm. Maybe not. Oh man, like everyone always talks about, Michelangelo being the funny one, but I thought like him and Donatello as a duo in this movie really works.
Oh, I think my favorite Donatello moment is when, well, I think it's Donatello when he strolls in on Casey and April, like getting a massage.
Oh, that Michelangelo.
Yeah, and he's like, "Do you want some oil?" And he whips out the turtle. As a little kid, I was like, I don't understand why that's funny. And the first time I ever got a car, I was like,
Yep.
turtle wax.
Turtle wax.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. They're definitely all a bit more. They're much more similar to one another. Like they have their uniqueness a little bit, especially I think Raphael, especially, and a little bit less Leonardo. But they are all like the movie plays them all up for jokes and one-liners and gags and the whole 9 yards.
Well, Leonardo's comedy, I think, is very understated. Like when right before Raphael leaves to go to the movie, he's like, "Hey, Raph, where you going?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna go out for a movie. Is that okay?" And he's like, "Dude, chill. That's cool." And then like Raphael turns around and he's like,
and he just starts dancing. Yeah.
the tequila. Da, 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 da. Like,
yes. My DVD was scratched as a kid when I got the DVDs later. Of course, first I had them recorded off of TNT on one VHS tape, Turtles 1, 2, and 3. And then later I got them on DVD, and it had a full side copy or full screen copy and a widescreen copy that was like double sided.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's the widescreen copy skipped right after that. Like I missed them dancing for a few seconds. So it's always like, and that's so ingrained in my head. I've seen it dozens of times since then, like digitally or on my own DVDs as an adult, and I still expect it to skip. It's like weird seeing it not. I can still hear like when it gets to the bits where it would go to a commercial break on the VHS tape I had. I could still hear I know what commercial was supposed to play right there, or at least part of it, because you try to like cut it out or whatever. Yeah. It was pretty. It's very very ingrained.
I think the things that we love about this movie are probably the things that the critics hate about it. Like, I mean, serious. Like, I think in the context of an independent film, I think this movie is an A+. Like, it's an A++. Like, there's a lot of the effects for the most part are great. Its violence, like, is just enough to keep it PG-13. You know what I mean?
PG.
Like, is it PG? That's right.
Yeah, straight PG. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's you get one and they didn't use it.
I don't know. Like, did you get one back then? I don't know if those rules. I have no idea.
I don't know. But there's like how much he says. Like Raphael says, "Damn," says like "Damn." He says it a bunch.
Yeah. That's
like,
the name of this episode, by the way.
The ninja on ninja violence. We're going to talk about the inverse ninja strength theory here in a moment. My favorite segment is April's voiceover at the country house with the montage of all the turtles dealing with Splinter's loss in their own ways.
Yeah.
It's a really great scene. It doesn't last as long as I thought it from what I remember. I thought that was like 40 minutes. And
it's because as a kid, you're just like, can we get, like, you have this high octane action scene and the whole place burning down. and then you're like, oh, get back to it. I don't get, like.
Yeah.
What is this astral project? What is he meditating? Is this yoga? Is this what the yoga is? I was told yoga was evil. Is this it?
Wait a minute. Why are they using the force? Come on. Magical Sail, the inverse ninja strength theory, from what I remember, and if I'm getting it wrong, please correct me, internet. I'm sure you will. A bunch of guys at MIT, for their thesis, came up with this idea. I call it the inverse ninja strength theory. TVtropes.org calls it the conservation of ninjutsu, in which the side that has the least amount of ninjas typically is the victor. Like, so for instance, when Raphael is 1 on 50 for the Foot Clan, for the most part, he does a really, really good job until he gets overwhelmed. And then like, for example, when all 4 turtles take on Shredder, they can't beat him, even though it's 1 on 4. And then when he goes 1-on-1 with Splinter, spoilers, he gets thrown off.
Spoilers. Could you imagine? You've been like, oh, this is so interesting. Oh, 30 minutes of this. I should have watched this movie. Spoil the end of it. I think the only, like, it doesn't, when they fight in the middle of the middle fight scene, when they fight in April's house slash the antique store, or I guess it's an antique store, or is it a pawn shop? I guess it's an antique store.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah. They do, like, they're winning, but they get overwhelmed. Like, it's definitely like two different scenes. So it does, I don't think that counts there. But of course, also you have the whole place burning down.
Yeah.
There's a little
bit of standing around syndrome.
Standing around syndrome for sure. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's also like, I kind of expect that from something that's PG, and it's trying to say it's no cartoon and it's going to be edgy and whatnot, but it's still PG. Like, there's a limit. Plus the costuming and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the most relevant or effective examples of the inverse ninja strength theory, and typically it's John Rambo. Like, how is John Rambo, even if he's not a ninja, but how is a one-man army taking on the entire ASEAN military?
He has a headband. Does that not make him a ninja?
He does disappear into the woods a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe in the second or third Rambo movies, he's not so much. But in First Blood, why not?
Yeah.
But like it's the whole idea that the side with the least amount of combatants, is usually victorious. Like Halo is a great example. When you're the Master Chief, you're able to take on the entire Covenant army.
Sure. Gears of War, like the video games, that's not really fair. I think that's just how it is.
I'm just saying that's an example. Like, it's a good way. It's a good reference point.
Yeah.
Like when the Foot Clan attack the second time, when they try to ambush him in the sewers and they beat him, they take the fight out of the sewers onto the streets and rooftops of New York. They're wholly successful until they come up against the Shredder.
Right.
Then it's 1-on-4 as opposed to 4-on-50.
Is it really the 1-on-4s? They seem to be taking turns. Like, I don't know if it's just they're trying to win honorably or what's going on, but like there's one point where they all run up at him all at once, but you don't actually see them fight them all at once. It's just like I don't want to call them vignettes, but it's just like a quick 1, 2, 3, 4. Try again. Them doing rock paper scissors to see who has to go try to fight them. Like, they're very much up to that point not taking it very seriously. Yeah, which is
dice.
I think they're like, wait, what? What
wait,
do you mean?
Whoa! Wait a second.
I don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, I sliced that dude earlier, but like, he'll be fine, right? It's not my fault he doesn't have a shell. Like,
is he a robot?
Oh, yeah. Holy crud! Costuming. I love the Foot Clan. I like, they look awesome. Shredder looks awesome. The turtles look great. Even to this, like, even watching this like high def, I streamed it this time just for convenience, and you can see like some of the line in the neck in some scenes where like the costume and the helmet is reading the rest of the costume. But I really do think it holds up. I think it holds up very, very well. Some of the lip movements are a little bit. I mean, they're actual puppets. It's crazy to me.
I think a definite benefit to this movie is that I feel like a lot of the scenes that involve the turtles take place at night, or in dark places. There's very few scenes where there's a lot of natural light.
I mean, they have the whole action. You mentioned Raph's action scene on the roof, and then they have the action scene in her apartment, which is pretty well lit, right? But I guess it's also moving quickly and whatnot.
But that's just one scene. Like, there's like her boss comes over. They're there. I hate that phrase. They're in the apartment, and then obviously the fight with Raph. But then it turns pretty quick to night. Like,
yeah, it does, and that probably helps with the movement and whatnot. They can kind of muddy the waters a bit. It's like adding fog or darkness to CGI before there was any. The head in chat here, the heads were fairly advanced animatronics for the time. Yeah, I mean, Jim Henson doesn't mess around.
Have you seen those heads in 2023?
Yeah, aren't they like rotted out or whatever? Like, you can look up pictures. Yeah. What's crazy to me, and I said we weren't going to talk about it, Chris, but I'm bringing it up. What's crazy to me is how good they look in this movie compared to how they look in the next movie, and then compare that to how they look in the third movie. I don't understand, like, why didn't they just use the same like, I guess maybe the wear and tear, different actors inside of them, or are they actors? I guess they're actors.
Well, wasn't Kino from the second movie one of the stunt individuals? Not trying to
How do you spell Kino?
I think
Apparently
Kino. Yeah.
Oh,
Is
he's not
that
popping up.
Russian?
Yeah, apparently it's yeah, it looks like it.
Uh,
Let's see. I'm clicking on it. I'm scrolling. I
Hold on
misspelled it.
a second. No.
What? What are we laughing at?
The guy who plays Shredder, James Saito,
Yeah.
is this goofy dad from a romantic comedy that came out in 2021 called Love Hard. It's got
wow.
Nina Dobrev from The Vampire Diaries.
Oh my god.
It's about catfishing, spoilers. And he's like this goofy, lovable. I can't believe that's the Shredder.
The actor who played Kino has never done any stunt work. He did, however, play in my second favorite ninja movie of all time.
Okay.
Surf Ninjas.
He is in Surf Ninjas, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to put it down to third. I think Surf Ninjas is my third favorite ninja movie.
Let's see.
So obviously it goes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then for a complete shift in tone, it goes Ninja Assassin. And then we come back to Surf Ninjas. And then Three Ninjas. Or maybe the Karate. Does Karate Kid count as a ninja movie?
I don't think so. Keno,
Okay.
Keno.
Yeah. Ernie Reyes Jr. We said we were not going to talk about Turtles 2 and 3. Cal, how did you forget about Three Ninjas? There's three of them.
Just kick back.
Yeah, they do all sorts of stuff.
Was it Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was the suit actor for Donatello in the 1990s action sequences,
according
to Phenom.
Yeah, that's what Phenom's saying, but I do not see that on his IMDb. Stunts. They filtered it out. Yeah, he was the fight stunt double for Donatello. Boom. But I don't know if he was in the suit the whole time or just because I think multiple people played in the suits. He might have just done some of the action scenes. There's another person named
standing next to Jim Henson in the costume.
But there's also Leif Tilden.
I'm sure there's a lot of them
who did Donatello.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a couple because Corey Feldman did his voice.
He was also in Red Sonja. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's a movie we definitely should not watch for the. I could find so many monkey clips.
I don't even know. I'm not sure what that
means.
Yeah, I don't understand the reference.
I feel like it would put me on a list. Don't send me any monkey clips.
Yeah. His email address is
Sci-Fi Wise Guys.
Oh my goodness.
But back to the
No. I was
gonna say right ahead. I think a lot of the critics see this movie in a real different light and it's not just my fandom talking. It's literally our experience of watching a bunch of independent films. I think this movie is top tier, sets wise. Maybe you could say some of the dialogue's goofy, some of it's bad. I like Barron's direction almost in all things. So when it comes down to it, the only B movie that you and I have super disagreed upon was Alien Warfare.
Right.
Mostly because I thought it was a terrible B movie. But I think even in context, this movie isn't, 50%, 40% on Rotten Tomatoes? I just don't see it. And that's not me being a fan of the Ninja Turtles. That's me seeing over 150 independent films. I just don't see it. I've
seen so many independent films. Way more than I ever thought we would.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I think this is good. I'm gonna transition us to my new favorite segment.
1 star.
We're gonna look at 1-star reviews. Yeah, there's only a couple of them on IMDb. I was actually surprised I found any, and I want to read this one. I want to see what you think. So this is posted on IMDb. 1 out of 10. Millennials are gaslighting us into thinking this is a good film.
Okay.
This movie blows. The only reason this film receives good reviews is because it was beloved by children in the 90s who are now too stubborn and blinded by nostalgia to see it as a steaming turd. The dialogue is trash. The characters are as one-dimensional as it gets. The plot is stupid and pointless, and this film is filled with more lazy 90s tropes than I could count. I feel bad that this is one of the last projects that the Jim Henson Company worked on before his death. I understand why a child in 1990 would love this film, but that doesn't make it good. Also, this movie racist as hell. All these fake-ass Asian accents done by non-Asian people, the fake-ass Japanese names, and the weird cultural appropriation is goofy as hell. If anyone did the Splinter accent in a modern piece of media, they'd be ousted from the industry. but this still gets a pass to this day. This film is a Dookie water out of 10. All right, Chris, respond.
I mean, I could see that. Like, I think I've learned many years later that the actors who played both the Shredder and Tatsu weren't. That's not their voices.
No.
Like, I found that out many years later. So I think I get what he's talking about. I'd want to ask this a person's opinion on the video game Shadow Warrior from 1994. Like, how he feels about that.
The masterpiece.
Was it
1994? I thought it was later than that.
It might be 1990. That's how I feel. I feel like it's 1994.
Let's see, 1997.
1997. Okay.
That feels. If I
came
say
out 1994, what? Duke Nukem?
Doom or Doom or Wolfenstein or something.
I mean, I get it. I don't necessarily feel like that's racist.
No.
Like, color me like biased against that, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Is it weird that they didn't have Asian actors do the voices?
I don't
Maybe.
know. I mean, yeah, but it's how do I put it? Is that I don't know if that gives it a 1 out of 10. And I like how you're jumping on that and not like everything else he mentioned about this, about the dialogue being goofy and being full of 90s tropes, sounds like a good thing to me.
Well,
so
but part of that is period. I mean, we talked about it when we watched Mutant Mayhem about how I'm not hating on Mutant Mayhem specifically for this reason, but like a lot of the stuff, Snail saw that movie with me. There was a lot of stuff in that movie that like, not that went over my head, but I can't really relate to because I'm not a teenager in the year 2003. I mean, then again, I also wasn't a teenager in the year 1990, but these are the turtles that I grew up with. And like calling them one-dimensional, they're comic book characters. Like, of course they're one-dimensional. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what kind of a statement is that? Like, like it's an hour and a half long, like, B-movie. Like, of course there's not going to be a whole lot of plot development for these characters. Like, the most that they grow is that they grow together and they like grow to accept each other. In that scene where Phenom was talking about when they're at the farm, there's development there, but they're still who they are because they're comic book characters. Like Superman.
Well, Superman, I don't know if that's the best.
No, he just never grows. Like, he's still the big Boy Scout. Like, he never, like, that's this whole thing. We watched the Batman versus the Ninja Turtles. Like, he's Batman and will always be Batman.
Except for, he'll always be Batman.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't, like, that's a weak argument, and I disagree.
Okay.
Disagree, Reginald.
I mean, I also disagree. I don't.
And like the
obviously
tropes,
the whole
movie
point
came out
of
1990.
So of course there's 90s tropes.
Yeah, it's a movie about not only is a movie about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's a movie about New York City. Of course,
New York City's almost like its own character.
Are we on Staten Island?
No, I no. The whole point of the whole point of that bit is to make fun of people and disagree with them. So that's where we're at.
Elias Koteas, yes, plays Casey Jones and shot Dr. House. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I will never forgive them for replacing him with Keno in the second movie. It's absolute trash. Absolute trash.
Okay.
And then they brought him back for the third movie and sidelined the whole time. He was like Thane in Mythica 4 or 3. Pointless.
Wait.
It was the third one, right? Yeah, because the fourth one's the one where they're on a road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, Mythica 3, yeah.
Mythica 3.
I think you flipped them.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Mythica 3 is the road trip.
No,
Mythica...
It doesn't matter. This is the least important conversation we'll have all month. I have seen the Casey Jones fan film, Kel.
I've not.
It's been a while. It was pretty good. I mean, it's good. It's just as good as like the rated R Power Rangers fan film or the
was that Mortal Kombat fan film that came out a couple years ago?
No, well, I mean that's already kind of edgy. There was another Punisher one that came out with the same guy who played Punisher the first time. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Thomas Jane,
Dolph
yeah.
Lundgren.
Thomas Jane. But I guess that doesn't need to be edgy either because it is the Punisher. But there's a bunch of those little fan films that went around. We really should devote a month to fan films.
Well, we watched a fan film.
We watched one fan film.
It's the worst episode, or the worst received episode we've ever made.
Yeah, it is. Doesn't mean I don't want to watch more.
There is a bevy of people swinging lightsabers around on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I would want to pick no more than one per like product.
Yeah.
right? Like one Star Wars, one Star Trek.
There's a bunch of people out there that are like, I could tell a better story than J.J. Abrams. And I hate to break it to you kids, you can't. I'm not saying that he can tell a story really well, but you can't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. All right. Any closing thoughts? Do you have an idiot of the movie?
I mean, obviously the idiot of the movie is the Shredder.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like I think Homeboy should have played his hand way earlier than he did. Like for a poker reference for this movie is Homeboy slow rolled his hand. He had two kings and thought he had the best hand at the table, and then Splinter shows up like when the river comes and flips out those two aces, and he gets thrown off a roof. Like, I feel that if you're the Shredder, you kill Raphael on the roof.
Oh yeah.
You don't throw him to his brothers through the skylight. As badass as that scene was, you throw him off the roof and you make turtle soup out of him. And now there's 3 turtles.
Soup.
And instead of, because here's what if you throw him off the roof, instead of everyone jumping into the room, you just set fire to the building and burn them alive.
You would have made a better Shredder is what you're trying to say.
Look, I will shoot James Bond if I'm in a room with him. There's like, I'm not going to hit him in the balls with a rope. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm killing him. I don't care. You're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
So it's the Shredder.
Yeah, I was just going to say because of him losing his cool in the last 30 seconds of his life, leading to his death. He's just like, oh, I'm just going to spear this guy. Literally spear him. Did you have a wise guy of the film?
Snail is not wrong at all.
Oh, I missed it. Chris has a Batman Justice League backup plan for all of us. Yes. I think my favorite Chris quote, I don't know if it's ever been said on the podcast. I don't have friends, just enemies that have yet to betray me.
It's true. Yeah. Wise guy of the film, I mean, I'd say Splinter, but
yeah,
Casey Jones makes a lot of really poignant points in this movie. Outside of him being kind of like a misogynist a little bit, like, you know, just it's kind of, hey, I'm Mr. Fix-It, princess.
Lead the way, toots. Yeah.
Toots.
I remember that being one of the first words that my parents had to tell me not to repeat.
Yeah, like I'm not sure about that one, but
yeah,
like when he beats up Tatsu when he tees off on his face,
and with the one wood, I think, right?
Yeah, when he's like, we're a family, and he's like, this is your family, like that, and he like points at Tatsu in the refuse, and he's like, that's your family. He really is a center point for a lot of the things in this movie. Like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't be beating up
teenagers,
like pickpockets in Central Park, but what's he doing so much differently than Raphael? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like when they save April at the beginning of the movie, like,
yeah,
are they really in a place? Like, is he really in a place to judge Casey Jones? Like,
well,
him?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think in general, Casey Jones is more violent than they are. Like, he's beating them up to beat them up, and maybe it doesn't come across as much in the movie. Yeah. Or had to be toned down.
You got to know what a crumpet is before you know what cricket is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to give a shout out to our good friend Raul, who's not here. Jose Canseco bet.
Jesus.
Tell me you didn't pay money for this.
Oof, it's a 2-for-1 sell, pal. I think Casey Jones is a good wise guy for this. He sees people that are getting hurt, namely Raph. He's like, cool. And he runs to it and he helps. And he's like, I'm here to help. Y'all are obviously good people. These guys are the bad guys. Like, out of all the main characters, the good guys in the movie, he's the one who's got like the least stakes. Like, he has no personal stake, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know them. He's just like, oh, bad guys.
Yeah.
That makes these guys good guys. Cool, let's get it done.
Yeah, he's cleaning up the streets of New York because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
The ineffectiveness of our police force.
Being a vigilante isn't
that a car? I think an Italian manufacturer makes the Vigilante.
It's his way of contributing to society, and that's why he's the wise guy of the movie.
I feel like I saw a Vigilante for sale.
Look, I'm not going to apologize.
Hey man, look, Phenom says adjacent.
He does say adjacent
instead of adjacent, so he's got no room to real talk.
That's very true. That's very true. Oh man. All right. Look, this has been a great month. I've really enjoyed this. Like we said, we've recorded a few extra episodes. So I say month, but by the time you're listening to this on the pod feed, it's going to be, I think, mid-September. So it's been a great month and a half, I guess, of Ninja Turtles content. And just getting to see some things I hadn't seen before, and then closing it all out with this excellent film from our childhood, full of 90s tropes and one-liners, and some just cheesy dialogues and gags. If you have suggestions for other straight to stream independent B movie style science fiction, or is this even science? I guess this is science fiction adjacent.
There's ooze.
Ooze.
It rolls off the tongue.
It just rolls off the tongue. Ooze. Oh man. But if you have suggestions for things we should watch and talk about, whether because they're really good and you want to share them, or because they're really bad and you want to punish us, you can let us know. scifiwiseguys@gmail.com. We're also on, I guess, all of the social medias, all the ones that were that existed up through August 25th. I'm sure there's like 14 more by the time you hear this. Just at Sci-Fi Wise Guys.
Snail would like us to find a movie that has something to do with cars.
We could watch Cars.
Well, he said like Fast and Furious.
Maybe you mean Gone in 60 Seconds?
Maybe there's a science fiction movie that involves a bunch of street racers. I don't know. We'll find one.
You mean Fast 9?
Death Race?
Oh, Death Race. There you go.
Is that
okay.
Science fiction.
That's better. Yeah. I mean, as much as Mad Max is, I guess, right? Which, I mean, maybe we should watch Mad Max.
Fair enough. Stay healthy. Stay hydrated. And Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Just remember, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Cowabunga, dudes.
That was great. Oh, who's for anyone who's still listening in the live thing? Who's your favorite turtle?
Oh yeah.
Just we're gonna. What is this? A straw poll? Who's your favorite turtle?
Some Raph.
Don't try to sway the votes, Chris.
I'm just giving mine. So
we got one of everyone but Leo right off the bat.
You know, I had a whole point about Leonardo that I was going to bring up if you said you didn't like him.
So. Oh, I like all of them. I like all the turtles. I don't have any that I don't like. I don't find any of them annoying.
Okay. Well,
wow.
Side Effect brought it up. So
we're gonna have to ban him again.
Here's my deal with people who don't like Leonardo.
Yeah.
You probably also wouldn't like your older brother.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, someone's got to be the adult in the room. And I think older siblings usually have a relationship with Leonardo that most others don't.
Yeah, Leo was my favorite growing up for sure.
Yeah.
Donatello's the best one. Kel's got it. I mean, I vote Donatello 100% of the time. He's got a stick. He's got mad bow staff skills, bro.
Yeah. He's using my stick against me. Leonardo's entire storyline I've never seen Ninja Turtles that he's whining and crying about. Okay, well, you obviously haven't seen the 2012 Ninja Turtles where he becomes the leader because he asks.
Did it show the scene where he's like, you really gave it to me because I asked? He's like, I would have given it to anyone who asked. And then he's like, even Mikey? Splinter's like, no.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
All right. So, the straw poll, I think, shows a little bit of Leo hate, but otherwise pretty well divided. And that was the 39.5-year anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Chris. It was a lot of fun.
They're heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
The Eagle has landed.
Okay, which rap song's better? Turtle Power or Ninja Rap?
Ninja Rap? 100%. Vanilla Ice, I think, wins for the first time in his pitiful life.
I just got to ask you, have you ever seen a ninja get down?
Slam and jam to this new sweet sound.